Congratulations, soon-to-be graduates, and welcome all to the Fall 2020 Graduate Hooding Ceremony. I'm Mary Jo Finney, Dean of the Graduate School at the University of Alaska, Anchorage. Though we're not physically together for this year's celebration, as the UAA community, we recognize and value our location in South Central Alaska on the ancestral homelands of the Dena'ina Athabaskan, Ahtna Athabaskan, Alutiiq, Sugpiaq, and Eyak peoples. After many seasons of coursework and homework, papers and projects, today marks a special season. It is a season, not merely a day, but a time to pause and take in all that is around you, to reflect upon all that you have expected of yourself over the last couple of years, and to realize that you rose to a monumental challenge. Few people in the world have access to higher education, and fewer still have the life circumstances that allow them to earn a graduate degree. Let this be a season where you ponder the fact that you found and followed your access to higher education and faced the arduous challenge of earning a graduate degree. You chose to go above and beyond a 4-year degree, which in itself is no small feat. You challenged yourself to face the unknown and to push through moments of doubt. You chose to persevere through life while attaining a level of education that deems you a master and an expert, and that knowledge carries with it a responsibility to share your exceptional competence in a way that empowers others to achieve. Now you're faced with an even more consequential choice. What will you do with your graduate degree? How will you use it to better our world? Who will you seek out to inspire? How will you responsibly demonstrate your masterful talent? The choices you make promise to impact others. Some around you may not appreciate the purpose or value of a graduate degree, but don't let that diminish your achievement. You chose to pursue a particular path, as did they, and your advanced degree places you among those who have much to give. For those who look to you in awe, and there will be many, know that you have reached a height they can only imagine. In either case, carry your notable achievement with grace and gratitude. Today's hooding ceremony is an outward tradition marking your accomplishment in a highly visible manner. Originally, the hood served a utilitarian function of keeping the scholar dry. In today's terms, the hooding practice is a way to remind the scholar and to signal to others this is an individual of masterful achievement. While receiving your hood today, pause and feel the honor of your accomplishment and the privilege of responsibility. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce you to the University of Alaska Anchorage Chancellor Kathy Sandeen, followed by the University of Alaska Anchorage Provost Denise Runge.
Congratulations to our graduates and a warm hello to family and friends who are celebrating today. I am so proud to be here to honor you with this centuries-old tradition of the hooding ceremony. I also would like you to realize that you are in the top 10% of all Alaskans in terms of education. As you know, we love our data in graduate school, so here's some data for you. According to the latest census information, slightly more than 10% of adults between the age of 25 and 64 years old in Alaska have graduate degrees. So that makes you special. You are doing your part to increase the education attainment in this state. And those of us you're hearing from today have walked in your shoes. We also have gone to graduate school, and we know firsthand the dedication and time it takes to do what you have done in order to succeed. Literally thousands of pages of reading, exams, presentations, detailed research projects, and much, much more. I bet it was a bit of a wake-up call for you like it was for me. You probably found that graduate study was a bit more challenging, maybe more demanding than what you experienced in your undergraduate studies. Lots more to juggle, lots more to learn, greater intellectual challenges. And in the end, I hope that you have a wonderful sense of accomplishment. And I know the knowledge and skills that you have gained in your program will serve you through the rest of your career and life. My own graduate education truly changed the way I think and look at the world. And not a day goes by that I'm not extremely grateful for the opportunity that I had to pursue that wonderful education. And I hope you feel the same. An achievement of this magnitude, of course, does not happen simply on your own. We all stand on the shoulders of our family and close friends who have supported us along the way. You know, your family and friends have provided social, logistical, even financial support for you. They have given up time with you so that you could study. They have sacrificed spending time. They've taken up slack in the household and childcare duties and much, much more. So I know that you join me in thanking them today as well. I'll close my talk here today with a bit of a personal story. Many years after I earned my PhD degree, I decided to go back to school to get an MBA. I was working full-time at the University of California, Santa Cruz. I had 2 kids at home, and every Friday and Saturday, every other Friday and Saturday for 2 years, I flew to Los Angeles for my MBA program at University of California, Los Angeles. That's what they called distance learning back in those days. And when I was applying for this program, I asked a former colleague of mine to write a letter of recommendation. And he's a surgeon, very busy person, from Scotland originally. And when I asked him to do this, he said this, put on his strongest Scottish accent and said, "You know, that's the trouble with you Americans. You're always trying to improve yourself. Back home, you just stick with one career and you stick with that for 40 years. But here, you're always trying to do more." Well, I know that he was kidding, but there's a little bit of truth to that too. I'm proud that we live in a culture where we support each other and where we are always wanting to improve ourselves and to make a greater contribution to our community, to our state, and to our world. And that is what you have done. You have improved your own life, your family's life, your community's life. It's a wonderful thing, and I really commend you for it. So again, many congratulations to you, the family and friends who are celebrating with you today. All the best, and enjoy the ceremony.
Today's hooding ceremony is a momentous occasion for all graduating master's and doctoral students. This celebration honors the transition each of you makes from the rigors of your graduate degree studies to the designation of one who demonstrates masterful knowledge in a professional field. As a symbol of your achievement, the hood you have received and will now wear is more than a mere adornment to your academic regalia. It is a symbol of your tremendous achievement that from this day forward visibly marks your accomplishment. In the tradition of the hooding ceremony, we express to you our confidence that you are well prepared to lead, deserving of your advanced degree, and a capable role model, both in your profession and your community. I am encouraged and excited by the hope you give us as we look forward to your future achievements and successes. Congratulations and best wishes to you all.
I now have the privilege to introduce you to your 2020 graduate degree hooding ceremony student speaker, Nadine Beckler. Nadine earned a Master of Social Work degree in spring 2020. She is a member of New Halen Tribal Council in New Halen, Alaska, where she spent most of her childhood prior to being raised in Nevis, Minnesota. Nadine has dedicated her career to improving the well-being of the Alaska Native population. She completed a year-long internship with Compassionate Directions, a community mental health agency where she worked with families experiencing a myriad of behavioral health issues. Recently, she completed a year-long internship with the Knik Tribe, where she assisted in the development of a behavioral health program. Most notably, Nadine was named one of 3 2020 Arctic Indigenous Scholars, and as part of this honor, she will travel to Washington, D.C. when safe travel resumes. Nadine hopes to continue her social justice advocacy work with federal stakeholders on resolving 2 complex issues Alaskans face: high suicide mortality rates and missing and murdered Indigenous women. Please join me in welcoming your graduate degree hooding ceremony speaker, Nadine Beckler.
Hello, 2020 graduate degree recipients. What a year. I am so excited we get to celebrate together. Finally. Kind of. Each of you deserve to be recognized and celebrated for your dedication, effort, and sacrifices you have made to be here. I am honored and filled with gratitude to be with you today. I would like to take a moment to thank those who made this day possible for me: my husband, my 2 children, my family, my Master of Social Work cohort and faculty, and countless others. You all helped provide the necessary nutrients to help me grow into who I am today. Thank you. I only have a few short moments to address you all, so I'll start with a brief introduction to myself. In the social work field, we have an assessment tool called ACEs. ACEs quantifies childhood trauma and associates it to lifelong health, achievement, and opportunity outcomes. The ACEs measures 3 areas of childhood trauma: abuse, neglect, and family violence. And as your ACEs score goes up, so does the risk factor of diseases and other social and emotional problems. Now, I grew up in rural Alaska. My experience growing up in rural Alaska allowed me to obtain a nearly perfect 9 out of 10 score. As someone who's always strived and pushed myself for high scores and doing well, I thought, great. However, those of you not in social work, this particular high score is not such a good thing. This score of mine is not something I have shared with anyone. Well, except with my therapist, of course. I didn't want people's opinion of me, especially in my field, to be colored by it. However, it is an important part of who I am, and being here today with you demonstrates that I have learned to understand and move forward from the traumatic life experiences I have lived through. I feel it is important now to highlight my history because my story is not unique, but trauma often goes unremarked upon or sidelined. It has become my desire that sharing my score and the trauma it represents provides an understanding, hope, resilience, and courage. If your graduate school experience has been anything like mine, I'm sure you are all relieved to be done. We're done with some of the long hours, the frantic 12th-hour deadlines, and if you're like me, questioning your decision to pursue a master's degree. I, for one, am thankful for the virtual format of the MSW program. Who knew it was preparing us for this pandemic and its endless Zoom meetings? And now your dedication to obtaining a graduate degree has paid off. My hope is that it has provided a deeper knowledge base, a sense of intellectual curiosity, and a substantial preparedness to make greater impacts in your communities. Academic learning does not always translate well to the working world, or as it's tend to be called, the real world. I, however, am extremely thankful for UAA's graduate program as it provided numerous real-world benefits. Practical working knowledge and learning from professionals within the state allowed for introspective and professional growth that are necessary for providing the services that are needed in Alaska. Recently, when I was nearing completion of the MSW program, a dear friend and fellow MSW student asked me for my favorite grounding or inspirational word. and I chose ameliorate, which is to make something bad or unsatisfactory better. I chose ameliorate because that's what I want to do in the world. I want to make as much as I can with what I have better. I may fail, I may inadvertently make things worse at times, but my ultimate life goal is to make things better, to ameliorate. I have one request of you all, to do what you can with what you have to make things better. To start, we can practice kindness. To quote the late Fred Rogers, there are 3 ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind. The second way is to be kind. The third way is to be kind. I wish you all success in your life's endeavors.
And now we come to the portion of the ceremony for which we have all been waiting. It is my privilege to present our 2020 graduate candidates. Today we have the honor of hooding 10 graduates who have earned the highest degree awarded in academia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is university custom that over the shoulder of these recipients will be placed the doctoral hoods bearing the colors of the university. Please join me in congratulating Brittany Freitas Morel, Doctor of Philosophy, Clinical Community Psychology. Her dissertation title, An Examination of Audience Attitudes and Reception to a Theater-Based Performance Addressing Child Sexual Abuse. Her major advisor, E.J.R. David, Ph.D. Alicia F. Marvin, Doctor of Philosophy, Clinical Community Psychology. Her dissertation title, It's Time for a Change. I Need to. I Have to. Turning Points in Recovery from Substance Misuse among Individuals with the Lived Experience of Homelessness in Anchorage, Alaska. Her major advisors, Sarah Buckingham, Ph.D., and E.J.R. David, Ph.D. Kiera Brecht, Doctor of Philosophy, Clinical Community Psychology. Her dissertation title, Pokemon Go and its effect on depressive symptoms, physical activity, and social connectedness. Her major advisor, Patrick Doolin, Ph.D. Brione Elkins, Doctor of Philosophy, Clinical Community Psychology. His dissertation title, Community Perceptions of Patient-Targeted Googling. His major advisor, James Fitterling, Ph.D. Jordan Scan, Doctor of Philosophy, Clinical Community Psychology. His dissertation title, Improving Information Delivery, the Enhancing Procedures for Informed Consent Video. His major advisor, Patrick Doolin, Ph.D. Steffi Kim, Doctor of Philosophy, Clinical Community Psychology. Her dissertation title, We're an Adaptable People, Resilience in the Context of Successful Aging in Urban Dwelling Alaska Native Elders. Her major advisor, Jordan Lewis, Ph.D. Samantha Mack, Doctor of Philosophy, Clinical Community Psychology. Her dissertation title, Effectiveness of a Smartphone-Based Alcohol Intervention. Her major advisor, Patrick Doolin, Ph.D. Sean Farley, Doctor of Nursing Practice. His project title, The Utilization of Close Observation in Acute Psychiatric Inpatients. His committee chair, Dr. Morgan Brissett. Jonathan Beatty, Doctor of Nursing Practice. His project title, A Telemedicine Follow-Up Program to Improve Glycemic Outcomes for Patients with Uncontrolled Type 2 Diabetes. His committee chair, Dr. Cheryl Toscano. Kelly Mitchell, Doctor of Nursing Practice. His project title, Improving Emergency Airway Care at a Critical Access Hospital. His committee chair, Dr. Cheryl Toscano. Please join me in recognizing all our doctoral candidates. We will now proceed with the hooding of our master's degree candidates from each college. Each college dean will introduce and congratulate their graduates, followed by slides announcing each graduate's name and degree.
For over 50 years, graduate students in the College of Arts and Sciences learned how to create, how to analyze, and how to solve. This has been especially true of graduate students in 2020. As CAS graduate students this year, you were challenged by COVID, you adapted to remote work, and you succeeded under very difficult conditions. On behalf of the faculty mentors who stood beside you and the staff who stood behind you, I congratulate Alaska's sturdiest. You were resilient. Congratulations, graduate students, class of CAS 2020.
Kare R. Erickson, Master of Arts, Anthropology. Nathan I. Harmston, Master of Arts, Anthropology. Theodore H. Parsons, Master of Arts, Anthropology. Holly A. Thorson, Master of Arts, Anthropology. Deborah M. Castillo, Master of Arts, English. Nancy L. Strahan, Master of Arts, English. Robert K. Whiteley, Master of Arts, English. Beth T. Craig, Master of Education, Early Childhood Special Education. Kate M. Cornell, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Jody A. Darling, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Amy R. Aiken, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Nate C. Freeman, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Chelsea L. Garney, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Sarah D. Glasser, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Nicholas S. Hoy, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Tan Tam N. Karasiewicz, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Jacqueline E. Larson, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Tevya Robbins, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. John J. Sassman, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Stephanie M. Seward, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Abigail M. Watson, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Douglas P. Williams, Master of Education, Educational Leadership. Danielle C. Are, Master of Education, Special Education. Rebecca A. S. Ingram, Master of Education, Special Education. Danica K. Nooner, Master of Education, Special Education. Callista M. Pruitt, Master of Education, Special Education. Christina M. Sitz, Master of Education, Special Education. Olga S. Fontaine, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning. Pamela L. Gilden, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning. Julie J. Gregory, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning. Kristen L. Holmes Ryder, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning. Serap K. Johnson, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning. Lillian A. M. Olson, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning. Joshua W. Feely, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning. Jessica M. Ross, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning. Amy K. Samuel, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning. Brian J. Smith, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning. Alexa G. Cherry, Master of Fine Arts, Creative Writing and Literary Arts. Dale B. Donaldson, Jr., Master of Fine Arts, Creative Writing and Literary Arts. Pamela A. Hayes, Master of Fine Arts, Creative Writing and Literary Arts. Eric G. Johnson, Master of Fine Arts, Creative Writing and Literary Arts. Mahogany A. Magnatek, Master of Fine Arts, Creative Writing and Literary Arts. Cameron A. Murray, Master of Fine Arts, Creative Writing and Literary Arts. Lisa L. Pachuta, Master of Fine Arts, Creative Writing and Literary Arts. Jennifer L. Ruckel, Master of Fine Arts, Creative Writing and Literary Arts. Daniel M. Coffey, Master of Science, Applied Geological Sciences. Seth R. Nolan, Master of Science, Applied Geological Sciences. Scott T. Pantaleone, Master of Science, Applied Geological Sciences. Frederick W. Transberg, Master of Science, Applied Geological Sciences. Timothy S. Williams, Master of Science, Applied Geological Sciences. Katie L. Anderson, Master of Science, Biological Sciences. Jacob J. Bozzini, Master of Science, Biological Sciences. Kelly S. Ireland, Master of Science, Biological Sciences. Megan L. Keller, Master of Science, Biological Sciences. Amy C. Klink, Master of Science, Biological Sciences. Ryan B. Lucas, Master of Science, Biological Sciences. Tim W. Naraki, Master of Science, Biological Sciences. Hugo A. Villavicencio Chu, Master of Science, Biological Sciences. Julie M. Denny, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology. Hannah A. Ferguson, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology. Elizabeth J. Mangini, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology. Robin N. Mertz, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology. Luke B. Offord, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology. Catherine Ogan, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology. Grace P. Olrun, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology. Irvi G. Salau, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology. Samantha K. U. Skirko, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology. Nicole Zegiastowski, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology. Marie-Sophie Bogash, Master of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies. Jordan M. Kucher, Master of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies. Jillian C. Jablonski, Master of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies. Hannah R. Uwer-Koch, Master of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies.
Today, your graduate studies in the College of Business and Public Policy will culminate with the hooding ceremony. This is a time to celebrate your achievements and reflect on the work that brought you here to this day. Many of you have completed your programs while working with jobs. Some of you have families. All of you have had to stay the course and be determined over these last 9 months as the world shifted around us. Your achievement is both an honor and a responsibility. As master's level professionals, you've illustrated the depth of knowledge, an ability to analyze and problem solve, and follow through. The contributions that you will make to society are immeasurable. Enjoy this day with full congratulations from the faculty and staff from the college. Your hood will always be a colorful reminder and symbol of your years with us. It also heralds your chosen field of study. Wear it with pride.
Tamra L. Aguilar, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Alexander O. Altukov, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Brian P. Blessington, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Gregory L. Bultrin, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Landon R. Chapman, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Adam J. Commandur, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Gregory S. Dutson, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Stephen J. Fernthile, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Tevin J. Gladden, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Donald V. Gottschall, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Victoria M. Hoffman, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Nicolette J. Holmes, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Peter O. Ikuwan, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Duo G, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Megan J. Mazurek, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Jennifer A. McConnell, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Lori A. Meyer, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Craig Miller, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Gavin M. Northey, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Martins Onskallis, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Jonah Renoff, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Nathan Renoff, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Patrick J. Ryder, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Katie E. Rowell, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Emily J. Seidler, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Gabrielle B. St. Pierre, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Jason Stevens, Master of Business Administration, General Management. David C. Trinkberger, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Farah R. Weinert, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Amanda M. Wooster, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Corinne N. Ye, Master of Business Administration, General Management. Micah K. Chilimo, Master of Public Administration. Alyssa M. Hartman, Master of Public Administration. Florence M. Cargi, Master of Public Administration. Brandon A. Nye, Master of Public Administration. Mario R. Pagni, Master of Public Administration. Stephen J. G. Sweet, Master of Public Administration. Alyssa Wooden, Master of Public Administration. Lealofi Vaiao Feangiai, Master of Public Administration. Najla J. Adlawan, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management. Thomas C. Boots, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management. Lloyd M. Burton, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management. Edward M. Connor, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management, and Master of Science, Project Management. Rujun Kui, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management. Laureen E. Davis, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management. Bradley J. Lipscomb, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management. Joshua J. Luca, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management. Sophia Maldonado Diaz, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management. Willie Moody, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management. Ryan L. Rebel, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management. Eva A. Uluki-Viola, Master of Science, Global Supply Chain Management.
College of Engineering Master of Science graduates, I'd like to start by saying how proud I am of what you've accomplished. Despite the many challenges, including COVID-19, you have persevered, spent many long hours working on your theses and projects, and have earned your graduate degree. This is an accomplishment that few attain that is truly deserving of celebration. And you have already made a difference with an original contribution of knowledge in your field or profession. As you move on to the next phase of your career, I challenge you to use the skills and knowledge you have gained to address the grand challenges facing society. Congratulations again. We are proud of you, and I know you will continue to make us proud as you embark on your future endeavors.
Travis M. Bradshaw, Master of Science, Civil Engineering. Daniel J. Dahms, Master of Science, Civil Engineering. Medhat M. S. El-Morsi, Master of Science, Civil Engineering. Christopher R. Ford, Master of Science, Civil Engineering. Brian P. Oakland, Master of Science, Civil Engineering. Michael A. Quinones, Master of Science, Civil Engineering. John H. Street, Master of Science, Civil Engineering. Cameron W. Wilson, Master of Science, Civil Engineering. Christina F. Forbes, Master of Science, Mechanical Engineering. Martin T. Henke, Master of Science, Mechanical Engineering. Tanner B. Penrod, Master of Science, Mechanical Engineering. Jason R. Barber, Master of Science, Project Management. Jessica L. Bornhold, Master of Science, Project Management. Jack W. Carlson, Master of Science, Project Management. Aaron W. Else, Master of Science, Project Management. Adriana L. Everett, Master of Science, Project Management.
Virginia Corazon de Jesus Cruz Groeschel, Master of Science, Project Management.
Christopher K. Hall, Master of Science, Project Management. Eleanor M. Harrington, Master of Science, Project Management. Melissa L. Metzger, Master of Science, Project Management. Leslie T. Stokes, Master of Science, Project Management.
Hello, graduates, family, and friends. I'm Jeff Jesse, Dean of the College of Health. On behalf of your professors and instructors, I want to applaud you for your commitment to your chosen field and for the enormous effort you've invested to reach this milestone. You have truly earned it. As our newest graduate and professional program alumni, you have a critical role to play in our society. Many of you are planning to stay and practice here in Alaska, where there's a significant need for healthcare and social service professionals. You have a unique opportunity to shape the health and well-being of communities across our state. No matter where you're headed next, I know your intelligence, compassion, and dedication will serve you well. I'm honored to celebrate with you today. This degree is an accomplishment that you have every reason to be proud of. Congratulations, graduates.
Jonathan R. Beatty, Doctor of Nursing Practice, Nursing Science. Sean T. Farley, Doctor of Nursing Practice, Nursing Science. Kelly E. Mitchell, Doctor of Nursing Practice, Nursing Science.
Joanna V. Kanayorak, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Emily K. Ricci, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Diane V. Rodriguez, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Tara C. Schmidt, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice.
Nicole D. Cabrera, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Ashley E. Carrick, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Karen L. Connor, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Kelsey L. Cusack, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Karina S. Gonzalez-Smith, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Maka J. Montour, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Aliasa L. Shane, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Bai Tao, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Hannah E. Warren, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Amanda M. Woody, Master of Public Health, Public Health Practice. Audrey R. Anderson, Master of Science, Dietetics and Nutrition. Allison M. Hillen, Master of Science, Dietetics and Nutrition. Kiana L. Holland, Master of Science, Dietetics and Nutrition. Haley J. Salazar, Master of Science, Dietetics and Nutrition. Kylie J. Veens, Master of Science, Dietetics and Nutrition. Kaveri Bharti, Master of Science, Nursing. Molly A. Duffy, Master of Science, Nursing. Sarah M. Krokos, Master of Science, Nursing. China K. Larson, Master of Science, Nursing. Christine M. Michelle, Master of Science, Nursing. Allison M. P. Moe, Master of Science, Nursing. Rosa L. Niemi, Master of Science, Nursing. Ellen L. Reeder, Master of Science, Nursing. Cheryl L. George, Master of Science, Nursing Science. Sarah E. Hines, Master of Science, Nursing Science. Melanie R. Lott, Master of Science, Nursing Science. Kelly N. Moore, Master of Science, Nursing Science. Mazio C. Anderson, Master of Social Work. Nadine S. F. Beckler, Master of Social Work. Sophia E. Branson, Master of Social Work and Graduate Certificate, Children's Mental Health. Tawny L. Brooks, Master of Social Work. Jonathan J. Dahlberg, Master of Social Work. Jacob A. Farber, Master of Social Work. Ian J. Foster, Master of Social Work. Michael L. Gray, Master of Social Work. Stacy M. Johnson, Master of Social Work. Keely N. Joyner, Master of Social Work. Tiana J. Kraus, Master of Social Work. Matthew J. Leonard, Master of Social Work. Kelly L. Murray, Master of Social Work. Emily G. McClelland, Master of Social Work. Aaron C. Neubauer, Master of Social Work. David J. Pantaleone, Master of Social Work. Danielle M. Penaranda, Master of Social Work. Ruina M. Keha, Master of Social Work. Catherine A. Quelland, Master of Social Work. Vanessa R. Salmon, Master of Social Work. Kristen Smith, Master of Social Work. Caitlin P. Sonito, Master of Social Work. Catherine C. Stallings, Master of Social Work. Emma Steinzeig, Master of Social Work. Maliko Ubel, Master of Social Work. Kimmy L. White, Master of Social Work.
Congratulations to our students. From wherever you are, please offer a warm round of applause. Before we conclude the ceremony, I ask each graduate to take a moment in the coming days to reach out to faculty members who have helped you achieve this extraordinary milestone, and to thank them, and to reach out to family and friends for all their support through your academic journey. This concludes our ceremony for today. Thank you for joining us, and again, congratulations to all our graduates.